Have you ever wondered how our genetic codes shape who we are? It's a question that sparked curiosity for centuries, leading us into the marvel of genetics. Our journey begins with DNA, the chemical compound that serves as the script for every detail of our physical selves. Within each of our trillions of cells, DNA strands coil tightly into structures known as chromosomes. These chromosomes, 23 pairs in every cell, are the keepers of our genetic codes. Imagine these chromosomes as books in a vast library. Each book, or gene, holds a unique set of instructions. These instructions dictate everything from the color of your eyes to your height, even to your potential for certain health conditions. So, how does this genetic information get passed down from one generation to the next? It happens through a process we call inheritance. When a child is conceived, they receive one set of chromosomes from each parent, a combination of genetic material that results in a new, unique individual. But there's more to the story. Not all traits are simply inherited from our parents. Genetic variation plays a significant role in our makeup. These variations, or differences in our DNA, are what make each of us unique. They're the reason why even identical twins, who share the same genetic code, can have different fingerprints or vary in height. But these variations can also contribute to diseases. Some genetic conditions are caused by changes or mutations in our DNA. These mutations can be passed down through generations, or they can occur spontaneously. The study of these mutations and their effects on health is a critical part of genetics. The world of genetics is a marvel indeed. It's a world that explains our past, shapes our present, and holds the keys to our future. It's a world that's complex, intricate, and endlessly fascinating. It's a world that underscores the wonder of life itself. Indeed, the human genetic code is a complex and fascinating blueprint of life. How exactly are these genetic traits passed down through generations, you may ask? Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through the fascinating world of inheritance modes. First up, we have autosomal dominant inheritance, where having just one copy of a mutated gene from either parent can result in the manifestation of a trait or disease. Then there's autosomal recessive inheritance, where both parents need to pass on a copy of the mutated gene for a trait to occur. We also have X-linked dominant and X-linked recessive inheritance. These involve genes on the X chromosome, with dominant meaning only one copy of the mutated gene is needed, and recessive implying that two copies are required. Lastly, there's mitochondrial inheritance. This is unique as it involves genes in mitochondria which are passed on only from mothers to their children. Understanding these inheritance patterns allows us to predict the likelihood of passing certain traits or diseases to our offspring. But why do identical twins, who share the exact same genes, sometimes have different physical characteristics or health conditions? Well, it's because genes don't work in isolation. They interact with the environment, a field of study known as epigenetics. You see, our genes provide a blueprint, the genotype, but it's how these blueprints are interpreted that determines our physical characteristics, or phenotype. Think of it this way: the same set of building plans can result in different houses depending on the materials used, the skill of the builders, and the environmental conditions during construction. Our bodies are much the same. Factors such as diet, stress, and exposure to toxins can influence how our genes express themselves. For instance, a diet rich in fruits and vegetables can turn on genes that protect against disease, while chronic stress can turn on genes that promote inflammation. Genes are not our destiny, they interact with our environment to shape who we are. Did you know that sometimes things can go wrong during the formation of egg or sperm cells, leading to chromosome disorders? This may sound daunting, but it's part of the complex and fascinating world of genetics. Let's talk about some common chromosomal disorders. First, there's Down syndrome. This occurs when an individual has an extra copy of chromosome 21. It can lead to intellectual disability and distinctive physical characteristics. Next, we have Turner syndrome, a condition that affects females. Women with Turner syndrome have only one complete X chromosome. This can cause physical abnormalities and fertility problems. Lastly, let's discuss Klinefelter syndrome. This disorder affects males who have an extra X chromosome, leading to a series of physical and cognitive symptoms. These disorders, while challenging, underscore the delicate balance of our genetic makeup. Each chromosome plays a crucial role in shaping who we are, and even the smallest variation can have significant effects. Chromosome disorders remind us of the delicate intricacy of our biological systems. How can understanding our genome improve our healthcare? Let's dive right in. Genomics, the study of all of a person's genes, is transforming the landscape of healthcare. It's akin to reading the blueprint of life. And this blueprint, my friends, is unique to each one of us. Imagine a world where your medicine is tailored just for you. That's the promise of personalized medicine, an application of genomics. It aims to optimize therapeutic benefits for individual patients based on their genetic makeup. And then there's genetic testing. It can provide information about a person's genes and chromosomes. It's like having a crystal ball that can predict certain health risks. And let's not forget gene therapy, a technique that uses genes to treat or prevent disease. It's like fixing a faulty wire in a grand circuit. In the future, genomics may offer new ways to predict, prevent, and treat diseases. So, here's to the future of healthcare and to the power of our genes.